The Alfa is back from the upholstery shop with a brand new top. So if you missed part one, I went over the overview of this project and the condition of the car and what the overall plan is, so check it out if you missed it. But we ended on the decision to replace the original top, which was completely tattered. So this is a nice new vinyl top as opposed to the cloth, which was original. Cloth looks a bit nicer, it's classier, but vinyl's less expensive by a couple $100, and it's easier to fit, easier to take care of, and I think it's a good option for a driver. So came out really nice. Have a look. The other big thing I did in part one was to clean up the engine, and as a result of that, after driving it around a bit, you can see pretty clearly there's a little oil leak coming from the valve cover gasket, most likely. So that'll make it easy when we take this into the mechanic. We can just show him that and he'll say, oh, okay, no problem. Hopefully it won't be a big deal. Shouldn't be. But next for me is to clean up the interior and exterior. So this is going to be the fun segment of this series where the car becomes beautiful. I think I'm going to take the seats out, do the interior first, so I can really clean up the carpet, clean up all that dog hair and dust and grime, make everything in here look nice and pretty, and then I can move on to polishing the paint, making it shiny. So this is going to be a very gratifying video. The car is going to transform by the end of this, so let's get going. Okay, here's one of the screws. Give it a good squirt, penetrating oil. And I'll do this to all the rest and let it soak in for several hours before I even try to take these out. Okay, I went ahead and took the seats out and top down so we can get a good look at the grunge in here. And I like using these little magnetic trays to keep track of your fasteners, so I did the left side. Just make a note of anything unusual, like this front right has a little stopper on it. So in this case, take the front screws out first, and then you can slide the seat all the way forward and get the back ones. So I'll just put them in here as they came out. Obviously, note these little plates and how they go. They're actually different from one side to the other. And just make sure to pick up any parts that you don't want to vacuum up. Found some treasures. Look at this old spark plug. Dog hair is notoriously hard to vacuum up. It tends to cling onto the carpet. So I have this special little rubber brush that helps dig it out. And we should be able to vacuum it up this way. Wow, I don't think I've ever spent so much time trying to vacuum such a small car. Dog hair is the worst. That little rubber brush only helped so much, and I feel like I did 3 or 4 passes on everything, and it's still not perfect, but it's looking quite a bit better. I am going to be doing another step after this. I'm going to shampoo the carpets and the mats as well. But I'm kind of tired of doing this. I'll probably do another passive vacuuming before the day is over, but for now I want to switch to something different just for my own sanity. I'm gonna start going over some of the plastic and vinyl and rubber surfaces with a protectant. I'm actually going to use the same stuff that I used on hoses and such in the engine bay. It's pretty versatile. And nice little clean brush is great for getting in some of the cracks in between panels. well, I'm ready to call it for the evening, but things are looking way better after this first pass. I think a lot of those plastic and vinyl bits were just really dehydrated. So I'm sure when I go through and do a second pass, I'll probably go over some things again, like the dash and the door panels. But look how much healthier and happier it looks now. And like I said, I'll probably have to try to vacuum again before I go to the next phase of carpet cleaning, but I won't bother showing you that. But also something I'm going to be doing is getting into the door jambs here and get my soapy water out again and just clean. They're not too bad, but like this strap here has a lot of corrosion, so I'll try to wire brush that off and give it a good soak in penetrating oil to hopefully keep it from corroding. Gonna polish some of the shiny metal bits like these scuff plates and, you know, just clean up inside these jambs. And always trying to observe anything that's broken. These door stops or door guides are completely annihilated on both sides. So I actually ordered some new ones that are made of Delrin, which is a really strong plastic-like material. So trying to make little improvements as I go. Okay, I'm about to kick out the jambs. This will be pretty easy. I'm just going to use some soapy water and my little pump sprayer with some Dawn Gist soap, pretty well diluted in water. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and replace these. I got my new ones in the mail. Check it out, it's totally disintegrating. And there's even, I noticed some chunks in here. So that's probably not helping. All right, give this a few pumps and just adjust the nozzle a little. That's what's nice about this, you can control it pretty easily. Might as well swap this out. Wow, that was really on its last legs. It had no legs. That is the perfect time to replace those while we're cleaning this area. So I believe the thing to do is to get this snug, but where it can still move, and gently close the door. Keep an eye on it. Yeah, it doesn't like that spot, so move it down a little. And that should have just decided for us where that wants to be. I think what we're hitting there is the latch, yeah. So that piece will go where it wants to go. And now we can snug it down. Perfect. All right, gonna be the same thing on this side. Dang, that bird's loud. Yeah, now we can start to see how good a condition this car really is in. And this is kind of the whole thing with this, enhancing the positives. When it was all dirty, we couldn't tell how good a shape this paint was in, but look at it now. So since I have the seats out, it's probably an easy time to give them a cleaning. I'm gonna try out this stuff I just got. It's probably a good idea with leather to use a product that's actually meant for it. And then after they're clean, I will use a conditioner on them to make them all nice. Still need to vacuum out some dog hair, and I'll go over these plastic bits with my protectant stuff. And I'll go ahead and take off the headrests because I got my replacements in the mail. So I'll show you that in a little bit. By the way, while you have the seats out, it's a good time to lubricate the tracks and such. So I'll probably get some grease out and make sure these tracks are sliding nicely. So I'm just gonna use a little white lithium grease and put some in there and in there. And hopefully it'll work itself in. Looks like it. And it looks like if we put some here as well, that should work out. Might need to use a screwdriver or a brush to really get it into that crack. Just a nice film. And of course we can't reach everywhere, but hopefully it'll work its way in to the places that we can't reach. Much better already. Nice. I'll just do all the rest of them. All right, this will be interesting. Trying a new product again. Driver's side's the worst. It has some kind of little bird poo on it. As we hear some noisy bird. Shut up, dude. Anyway, let's give this a try. Nice, it's coming right out. Get in the cracks. All right, notice anything different here? Got some headrests. So in my quest to find a matching correct headrest with the black leather and red stitching, unfortunately I wasn't able to find one, but I found a used Alfa Romeo parts place. It's an actual dismantler. And he had this pair of good black vinyl ones for a good price. So that ended up being the best compromise, and it looks way better to have two that match and are the correct color. And of course we'll include both of these with the car, and of course the next owner can continue the quest to find the correct headrest. But for now, all that's left in the interior is to condition the leather on those seats and finish cleaning the carpets, and that's pretty much it. Well, I did some more vacuuming and I couldn't get every little hair out and every little chunk of debris, but they're looking pretty good, the carpets. So I'm gonna move on and try some carpet cleaner with a little scrubby brush on it. This is OxyClean Total Interior Floor Mat and Carpet Cleaner. Never used it before, so we'll see. Should be pretty easy though. Just spray it on, let it sit, and scrub it and wipe it off. So let's go. Interesting foaming action. A bit uneven. I'll just give the inside a nice thin coat. It's really not that bad in here. I'm just trying to freshen it up. Surprisingly, for being a dog car, it doesn't smell like dog in here. It's probably down to having the top down all the time, so don't really need the odor eliminating factor here, but it doesn't hurt to make it smell fresh. And I'm sure I'll have to touch up these areas that I'm getting overspray on. It's kind of a weird spray pattern. Definitely smells better. Just gonna work it in and then use a damp cloth to wipe the excess out. A little added bonus of going through with the brush and brushing everything, it picked up some more of the dog hair, so just another good extra step, and the carpets are looking much fresher now. A bit more lush black color, and they just look newer. Now I'm just using a damp cloth to wipe out the excess. It's looking pretty good in here. Just one little note about leather seats. Most auto manufacturers are always trying to save money, so they're usually not full leather. So unsurprisingly in this case, all the front surfaces that you actually sit on and touch are leather. But if you look at the sides and the backs, those are all vinyl. So just keep that in mind when you're cleaning them and using different products on them, because obviously you want to use something different on leather as opposed to vinyl. So I'm going to be using the same protectant stuff on the vinyl, but I'll be using a special leather dressing on the leather. Just a little tip on things like this, corroded fasteners and whatnot. Grab some steel wool, 4/0, meaning 4 zeros. I'm not sure what that means, aught. Isn't 0 naught in British English? Anyway, trying not to touch the painted portion, but just give it a little twisty. That looks way better. There's this little shiny bit here. Much nicer. So the trunk kind of counts as the interior too, so I went ahead and took out a bunch of the stuff that was in there. I'll have to go through and probably get rid of some things. And then what else was in there is this nice boot cover. So I'll want to wipe that down with my protectant stuff. And I'll definitely use it when I go to take photos with the top down, so it looks a lot nicer. But similar to what I did in the door jambs, I'll go through and vacuum out any crud and get my soapy water out and just wipe down the dirt and grunge that's under here. Not too bad though. And of course vacuum the carpets. Underneath here, we lift this out. You can see the original spare wheel and tire, very nice. And I could wipe down these painted surfaces in here. I don't know how important it is to have a clean trunk floor, but it'd be easy to do, so why not? think we can call this a clean trunk now. This is what I use on the inner areas to sort of freshen up the paint after going over them with a detergent-y soap like the Dawn Dish soap. It kind of dehydrates the paint a bit and leaves it a little dull, so I just like to give it something to rejuvenate it a little. So that's just a spray wax. But as you can see, makes the paint look pretty good. I got rid of the major dirt that was there, and it wasn't too hard to do. It's already in good shape, so I vacuumed a bit. Anyway, I'll do the same thing with the spray wax in the door jambs. So let's do that real quick. So now when you open the door, instead of being greeted by dusty, dirty sadness, you're met with some shiny red paint. Nice. All right, we're down to one of the last major things on the interior, and that's to condition the leather on the seats. I'm going to use this Lexol conditioner. It seems to be what people recommend. Basically, the thing is just to work it in with the microfiber, let it sit for a while, and moisturize, and then wipe it clean. Leather is essentially skin, remember, so it's just like using a good moisturizer. Not that I do that. Nice, that came out really good. Nice and supple, and the stuff has a nice kind of smoky smell to it. Really nice. This looks like something you'd want to sit in now. Very inviting. Not overly shiny, just a nice healthy sheen. So, I think I'm finally ready to put these back in the car. And that'll pretty much wrap it up.
Soon after.
I think I'm officially done with the interior. This turned into a slightly bigger and longer project than I thought it would, but that's always the case. But I'm super happy with how this turned out. Things are definitely looking up for our little Alpha, and in the next episode I'm finally gonna detail the paint and the exterior, the black trim, the bright work, and it's all gonna come together and be magnificent. But it already feels so much better with the clean interior. It makes you want to go for a drive. It feels more inviting. So I'm looking forward to the next stages, and I hope you are too. See you in the next episode.